was?
You're on, Stephanie.
Okay. Yeah, I was here last meeting. Check the minutes. We didn't have a meeting last month, so. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Somebody say something.
Boo. Oh, TikTok. Lisa taught. Yeah, one in Harriman, in the gas station. Yeah, I haven't been able to go yet. It's good to know. Well, none of our grocery stores have salad bars. So it's like it's hard to find a place that, you know, everything's fresh right there and they cook it and, or put it together right in front of you. I want to say it's the people that owned the donut places and they got out of donuts. Yeah.
I just love coming to it. I just look forward to every month coming down here.
I'd like to call this meeting to order, the Kingston Municipal Planning Commission, and remind everybody to turn on their mics, please, because it is being recorded. Can we have a roll call, please?
Member Frog,
Here.
Vice Chair Levin,
Here.
Secretary Pickle,
Here.
Member Bodkin,
Here.
Mayor Neal,
Here.
Member Owens,
Here.
Chair Wright.
Present. We did not have a meeting in November, so can I have a motion for the approval of the October 2023 minutes?
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Owens,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Levin. Any corrections or deletions? No? Okay.
Member Frog,
Yes.
Vice Chair Levin,
Yes.
Secretary Pickle,
Yes.
Member Bodkin,
Yep.
Mayor Neal,
Yes.
Member Owens,
Yes.
Chair Wright.
Yes.
Unanimous.
We'll go on to reports. I have nothing to report. Mayor, do you?
I couldn't think of anything that, I know we passed the rezoning out on Gallhar, but that's, other than that, that's it.
All right. Mr. Cofer, do you have anything to report?
No, ma'am.
All right. Mr. City Manager?
The rezoning was the only thing I had
Okay.
on my list.
He stole your thunder.
He did.
Any other committee or board reports? If not, we'll move on to public comments, and we've set aside this time for anyone from the public to come up and speak. I don't think anyone is here to speak except for the people that are on the agenda, and we have no old business, so we'll move on to new business. The first agenda item is the site plan review for Lakeside Reserve condominiums, Roane County Tax Map 68 HC Parcel 1, Mr. Buntrock, and he came in front of us and kind of in a different format, but this one looks a whole lot better. And you're not subdividing like we were before, so the lot doesn't change. So this is just a site plan review for new condominium units. Let's get this on the floor for discussion. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bodkin,
Second.
second by Mr. Owens. Mr. Bodkin, do you have any comments?
No.
Mr. Owens?
No.
Anyone else?
You said it's a site plan?
Mm-hmm.
This is a plat.
It is. That's what,
This one doesn't have the building shown on it. Oh, this is the only building we're talking about right here.
okay. So,
That's gonna be the next one.
okay,
We had,
so still, it is a plat, you are subdividing this now.
Oh.
You're correct, that's what I was trying to figure out.
So you
that's,
this is a.
well, when I talked with
plat,
you,
not a
you
site
said
plan.
that's what I needed to,
Yeah.
that's what I needed to do, and check with.
I didn't even
Mr.
look at the
Pickle.
title.
Yeah. As far as, you have any questions on it as a plat? The title block, you mean?
The only thing I don't see would be like an old property line if it's re-subdivided.
Right.
Knowing where it was before.
The previous plat,
It was just, this whole thing was, it used to be 5, and then it was 5R, and then it was,
Yeah, I know a couple of months ago, we had the previous plats in here, and I.
Yeah, I didn't bring-
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and when he come by, we looked at it, we discussed two things. We discussed this and a site plan. And the subdivision of the property needs to be taken care of first before he submits a site plan.
so we're not done here.
Yeah.
We gotta submit a site plan?
Yes, sir. That's the other one that you had in my office that had the building on.
Well, this, the building on here. Okay. Well, no, we're not doing that. That's.
This one you just completed.
Yeah, and that's the only one we're talking about.
Okay. All you're doing is subdividing the property. You've already done this. You already had a site plan approval on this.
Okay, so that's already been done.
Yes, sir.
so the previous plat was in E-135, 138. Because the old lines aren't on the plat, it's hard to, we can't tell what changed. It was all, the most current plat, it was all 5R.
Yes.
So lot 7 was already gone, right? 5 and 6, actually.
He is creating 6 and 7.
Creating 6 and 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Out of 5 or?
5R.
5R? Okay,
Yeah, it was 5R.
5R, okay. So, you're missing a call on the north right-of-way of Grandview Court between L4 and C11.
What call?
This one.
What are you talking about?
L4 and C11 in there. Right, between the two. there's
The call
a
is missing.
Okay.
straight line,
No.
the end of the curve.
Oh, you're talking about. This whole thing is L4. Shouldn't be. Why? Okay.
No, I think you're right. That's L4. So the sanitary stub is not up in.
And so just to be clear,
Okay, my mistake.
it doesn't, it's not showing the previous boundary lines because everything in solid black except for what's showing is lot 7, the whole thing was 5R, so.
Correct.
And so we're creating, see, that's what we talked about this last time we were here. You said you weren't gonna subdivide, so all we needed was a site plan. So we are creating 3 lots.
I was thinking since the condo association is gonna own the whole entire thing, I didn't realize that that they had to be subdivided into lots each time. Since I own the whole thing to begin begin with, and then it, you know, as you build them, you have to subdivide them and then put them back in. I didn't realize that.
It depends on how you're setting up your condominium regime.
Oh, set up like 20 years ago.
Right, but with a condominium regime, you have a horizontal and vertical ownership, whether or not that's outside of the building or just inside of the building, it depends on what it is. So it's.
And I think that was addressed in that last plat. I don't have it with me.
Yep, well,
but
because I
that-
think we're missing
I think
a
we had-
plat, because I don't have a plat where the existing condominium unit 2400 is on it. No, it says existing.
Yeah, 2400 is the one that got site plan approval,
Yeah.
probably year and a half ago.
Did
Maybe
it get
longer than that.
recorded?
I'm not sure when it was, but it's been quite some time ago. 2600 was a building that it was built, and then 2400 is the building that, you know,
It was on the
that we
plat.
have been working on. You know, they even share some of the same driveways. All the same streets, drainage, everything.
Let's see, E135. Is that E135? Oh, okay.
Last month, proposed.
All right, so. We're approving a re-subdivision.
Yes, ma'am.
So so that wasn't on the agenda, so how do we need to handle this, Mr. Bowling, do you think? Because the motion and the agenda item is site plan review, and it is a re-subdivision, so I guess we need to remove our motion, withdraw the motion.
And
Amend the motion?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm assuming, you know, you're thinking, as I am, about the change in the law and it not being
That's right.
published on the agenda. I don't know that I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I haven't seen that contested yet, but I mean,
It was written on the submittal that we set.
We got a site plan checklist.
Yep.
Cause that's what the last time you were in here, that's what we talked about the next step being, was the site plan.
I mean, I don't know that technically the agenda can't be amended, but, I mean, there's always the chance that somebody could question it, but whether they do or not, I don't know, but,
What would they question?
I'll say,
because the laws, the law has changed, that
It's-
you have to publish, about public notifications, publishing your agendas, that sort of thing, and
It's not on the agenda.
you'd be taking action that wasn't
Public,
publicly notified ahead of time. It's not our rule, it's the state law, but,
and it was just changed 6 months ago.
Yep.
I mean, if you wanna talk for a minute, I can try to get you an answer, I can try to
Okay.
see what,
just out of curiosity, who would challenge this?
Yeah, you can. Agendas, they can be amended. You actually have this on your agenda,
Administrative.
No, we
but
don't.
for a site plan,
For
not
site
for a
plan.
plat.
That's not public.
And and the checklist is also site plan.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's just say hypothetically, someone else that lives in one of the other condominium units didn't get notice that another condominium unit was getting ready to be built next door. You know what I mean? There's no opportunity for someone to come in and make a public comment about it. because they weren't notified of it.
If they were gonna build more, there would be a new site plan, in which case they could come in.
And we're not seeing a site plan.
I know, but I'm saying, if he were to build a third unit, he would need another site plan, and someone could comment on that.
Yeah. But what's on our agenda is not what was advertised. It's a completely different thing, actually.
I understand, I just don't know who's gonna object.
We don't know who would object. It's an unknown.
Who would even have a standing to object?
Anyone. It's a state law now.
But there's no agenda item when we subdivide administratively.
Because this
Not
is
even
not,
on the- it's not
this
part
has
of the
not
meeting.
come up yet. This is the first time it's come up,
So,
since the law's been
I know, I'm
changed.
just throwing it out there.
Mr. Pickles headed down the right road.
He may be, but I have to go by the law, so have you
yeah, I mean, that's still, I mean, we know that it may not, it doesn't matter who objects to it. I mean, that's like saying, well, how do you know somebody does 70 miles an hour down a 35 mile an hour
I'm
road? If there's not somebody there, basically what the law says, and I don't, I would be here forever reading the whole thing, but you can add something to an agenda during a meeting if your bylaws allow it, and if it is reasonably associated with the agenda item.
So what we need to do is back up, have a motion to add an
Yes.
agenda item.
I think you could make the case that this is reasonably connected, so.
Okay. All right, and it has to be unanimous to add a new agenda item, correct?
Correct.
All right. So do I have a motion, would you like to withdraw your motion for the site plan review?
Are we amending or?
We're starting fresh.
Starting over again?
We're starting over.
Okay, I'll withdraw that.
Mr. Owens is gonna withdraw his motion. I'm sorry, Mr. Bodkin. Would you like to, okay. Do I have a motion to add a new agenda item for the final plat review of the re-subdivision of Lot 5R Lakeside Reserve condominiums? Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Neal.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bodkin. All right, now we're in the right place. Any comments? Any other comments on this re-subdivision? Mr. Levin, did we work out the call issue?
We did,
Okay, any other comments?
not that I know of.
All right, let's call the roll.
Member Frog,
Yes.
Vice Chair Levin,
Yes.
Secretary Pickle,
Yes.
Member Bodkin,
Yes.
Mayor Neal,
Yes.
Member Owens,
Yes.
Chair Wright,
Yes,
unanimous.
you're good. Thank you for your patience.
No.
That was just
You
the
just
vote
added
put it
that.
on the agenda.
You just
Oh, that's
added
right,
that
that's
to
right,
it.
that's right.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we pass
Thank you,
this.
sir.
This on,
Motion by Mayor Neal,
yes.
second by Mr. Bodkin.
And this is to approve the
This is
final
to
plat.
approve the re-subdivision of 5R.
Member Frog,
Yes.
Vice Chair Levin,
Yes.
Secretary Pickle,
Yes.
Member Bodkin, Mayor Neal, Member Owens,
Yes.
Chair Wright.
Yes. Now you're good.
Hey,
All done?
All done.
You have an original for me to sign?
This is the original. You gotta have the original?
You need to record the original. It's gotta have all original signatures on it.
Wet signatures.
Huh?
Wet signatures.
So,
Well, you want me to
You can. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
no, I'm fine. I thought if you had it, I did.
All right. Well, I see your truck.
Yeah.
I see your truck out there. Just a second.
That's fine, yeah. Move it around.
Appreciate you.
Hey,
Will we see you next month? January?
I hope not.
Oh,
This is over, right?
No, you gotta
Gotta do your site plan.
before you can start building the next one.
Oh, before I can start building the next one, yeah, well, I'm just wanna get this done. I'm not worried about the next.
All right.
I think my son's gonna be in here doing that.
Okay.
I'm getting in a
Put him to work.
game here.
Guys, Matthew is, doing pretty good. He's
Good.
learned a lot.
Look
He's
forward
getting
to
a long
it.
way.
He's getting some good guidance here. He's getting some good guidance from you and Frank.
Yeah.
All right.
Hang us half the time.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the next agenda item, the approval of the roadway for Franklin Village Trace. Mr. Kofer, if you would like to start.
Yes, I was asked several months ago to talk with the developer, the guys from D.R. Horton, about what could be done with this road.
Okay.
They would like to have it taken over by the city. The only thing that we could come up with, and we'd talked about it, is that the road width is 20 feet. That is the variance that they got back in '09.
That's right.
But it's private roads. And the two cul-de-sacs, they are willing to go ahead and redo them also and make them 75 foot. Talked with Chief Gordon. Chief Gordon says at 75 foot, he can get his trucks in and out of there and turn them around. With both chiefs, chief of police, chief, the fire chief, they both would like to have, if this goes through, no parking signs on the road down both sides. The biggest issue out there with being able to try and widen this road is the fact that the utilities are right beside it.
That's right.
Right beside it. And the worst thing is, that I could see that we would have to request them to do is on the lower end, is they need to address that drainage at the lower end so they're not flooding those folks out.
And I think we have addressed, I mean, we've spoke to them since 2009 regarding drainage, and then when this new plat was approved, there were comments regarding the drainage as well.
Me and Tim went out there today and looked at it and walked it and stuff, so.
Now, the cul-de-sacs,
Your
our current requirement is
100 feet.
100 feet.
Yeah.
One is 63, the other's about 70.
So they would require another variance.
Well,
Yes, they would need a variance to make the,
Would you
cul-de-sac
say it's
75
currently
foot.
63 and what?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to ask a question. You get a chance.
Yeah, let me write down my notes. Current rule is 100 feet. Right, 100 feet? Is that what we said? Okay. Ma-
And just for clarification real quick, I did find out this afternoon that not all of our fire trucks will handle that cul-de-sac. The ladder truck will not go around it.
All right, I just talked to him sitting here tonight in BZA meeting.
Well, you can double check that,
No,
but
I
what I
agree
was
with you.
told, and I didn't talk to him, I talked to an employee in the department, one of his supervisors, but I was told the ladder truck will not make that turn.
It's our largest truck.
So,
Mayor Neal.
And then I'll defer this to Mr. Bowling, Mr. Clark. What benefits the city by taking this road in?
Right.
That was made a private road when the subdivision was built back in the 90s.
Right. Mr. Clark, would you like to make any comments regarding the road?
With the variances, it still will have issues. I think they agreed, one of the variances be the drainage be repaired on it, corrected. But as Glenn spoke earlier, it's gonna be hard to even widen the road, much less put the drainage. If it's swell or underground drainage system, it's gonna be hard. There's no way to do one if you do that, because of the east drainage that's at the bottom cul-de-sac.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna read into the record the comments for when we went under final plat review for this. Original final plat was approved August 18th, 2020. The revised plat showed improved drainage facilities, including an additional catch basin and larger drain pipes for a section of the development. Do we know if that got done?
they're small, culverts, round ones, and tie into PVC pipe that's what?
Cause they
at most
submit,
15?
That's not what we.
they submitted an original drainage plan. Cause Robert G. Campbell and Associates is the ones that did the report. So whatever needed to be done according to that drainage plan.
I've never seen the drainage plan. The only drainage
Uh,
varies on the house and the lots itself. And you cannot drain the water from the street to those drains.
Okay, I'm gonna get that emailed to you.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Can we have somebody check and see if that has been completed? And if it has not been completed, it does not need to come back before this board until it is.
Correct.
Email drainage plan.
The only way I see it fixing that is get a drainage engineer in there and have him sign and stamp, make sure. 'Cause I don't see any way of it working without an easement and an actual swell put down through there. And you can't do it because you built it the right of way.
That's why I wanna make sure that you get your eyeballs on that drainage plan, because in order to approve that plat, the drainage plan had to be followed, so,
Biggest issue out there is the drainage.
alright.
Isn't that creek to the right of this? Isn't there a creek to the right side of the Route 1?
Yes, I think there is.
That's the
Okay.
drainage coming out of the sewer plant, isn't it?
Or,
There's you're asking for an as-built to show exactly what's been done, or an inspection to make sure, or?
well, I want to make sure our road supervisor sees what the drainage plan was that was submitted, because the roads were already an issue and they were building on land. It was, of course, gonna change the drainage even more. So they submitted that drainage plan, but I don't,
Okay. I also recall that we requested a swale along all of the lots that were on the south side, I think, and drainage put in on those. Is that right?
it says.
I don't have my stuff with me, so.
It says the enhanced drainage facilities were in response to concerns expressed by Mr. Burkett.
It's a pretty good set of drawings out there.
I wanna say,
That is the drainage that came up along the back side of the houses, going towards, Cherokee. All that was draining down with the other drainage coming down the road and hitting that, what they were calling as a kind of a catch basin, and it just overwhelming it.
the July 2020 minutes state that the public force main and sanitary sewer facilities were proposed to serve all lots. The drainage plan showing stormwater being directed towards the street for most lots and towards streets in the rear of lots 1 through 9 and 17 through 24. Water directed to the rear of those lots would be handled by drainage swales. Storm water directed to the front of the lots would be channeled onto curbed roads and into existing catch basins. Storm water directed onto Franklin Village Trace and Franklin Village Way would be uncontrolled because of the lack of curbs and catch basins, which is why we went to the drainage plan. So, until we just can't at this Mr. Bowling.
Well, I was just gonna echo, as this moves along, I was just gonna echo what the mayor said, that I don't necessarily see what the benefit to the city is to adopt these roads. You know, they were built the way they were built, clearly, and I'm looking at a letter here from 2009 from the developer, saying
Yes.
Franklin Village Trace was built to the city specs in 1994, but was not accepted as a city street because it was expected to be maintained by the condo association as a common area.
Right.
I mean, clearly, it's a dead-end cul-de-sac on both ends. It doesn't serve the public. It's not a public thoroughfare. It doesn't serve the public good. We have a street department that can't keep up with what we have already, and we're adding another street for seemingly no reason. I mean, it's up to council. Obviously, council is
That's right.
the board that adopts streets, and if council wants to do that, then, we'll certainly do whatever council wants us to do, but that would be my.
And I can't remember, didn't we bring this to council in 2020?
It came up, there was a request in 2021, and I don't know what.
Because there was some discussion back then about how the developer can even do work on the road because the developer doesn't own the road. The homeowners association owns the road.
Yes, and we got, we did receive a request. There's actually two letters that I received in May of 2021, one from the then president of the homeowners association, another one from the developer, but.
Even
no.
if it's from the president, does the president have the authority
Correct.
to,
Correct. And, obviously their governance has changed since this
changes
was
all the
submitted
time.
in 2021.
Yep.
So I would think at a minimum, if they wanted this considered for adoption, a new request would have to be made. But again, I find it a stretch to understand why we would want to do that, but I don't have a vote on that, so
All right.
just my 2
Along those
cents.
same lines, you have to ask yourself, okay, these were intended to be private. What's changed?
What's changed?
Yeah, why would?
why does D.R. Horton want it to be a
Why
public road?
why does anybody
Because
want it to
D.R.
be
Horton
different?
doesn't own the road either.
No.
Other than they don't want to pay for it. And I don't think that's, the city doesn't have many private roads or certainly requests for new private roads, and it seems like we have an inordinate number of them that as soon as they need some work, suddenly get requested to be public. And
I agree. Ideally, if the intent when a road is developed is for it to be a public road, then these are all issues that should be dealt with on the front end prior to construction and built with the intent of becoming a public road. That wasn't the case in this.
right,
so-
or there needs to be some kind of extenuating circumstances that have changed since it was intended to be private and suddenly really, really needs to be public. for
Well,
some
it
reason.
opens up a question that I didn't think of before. Why would D.R. Horton want to put their money into a road that they don't own? I mean, what is the benefit of
Benefit of it,
for them?
it's out of their hands.
But it's not in their hands because they don't own
They
it.
don't own it, but they,
So really, the
The-
request should be coming from the homeowners association for us to accept the roads, first of all.
well, the repairing of it will be with the city, okay? Because D.R. Horton did the development there, and that's what they proposed, okay? How to fix it.
But honestly,
And what's gonna happen is, even if, and I agree with the mayor, probably just wanna get away from this one.
yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
It'll be between D.R. Horton.
and the
and
homeowners
Caldwell
association.
And the homeowners association.
It's not even Matt, it's the homeowners association.
Yeah.
They own the
They-
road.
Ultimately, it will be them, but, you had the developer in there, and it was bonded, and he was supposed to take care of the issues. So-
Yeah, it was bonded. So, honestly, those two parties, before it even comes to us, those two parties are the ones that need to get together. Has nothing to do with us. Go ahead.
And Tim, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think this is probably a question that would sufficiently answer the debate. If this road was built with the intention of being a public street, would it have been allowed to have been built to the standards it was?
Right.
We went through that several years ago, and it was a long, drawn-out process. I think Gary was involved in that, and we need to stick where we're at.
Yeah, we pulled everything we had all the way back to 2009. All the letters, all the minutes, And it is clear that the intent at the end of the day was for it to be private. So,
Mr. Chairman, also in doing new subdivisions and building new roads, we need to put something in place where it requires a third-party engineering firm to certify that those roads are built to the city standards.
I want to,
Third-party engineer.
I do not, we not, I thought we did.
Do we, is it in there?
Yeah. I think
I'll
we
make
do
sure
have
it's
that.
the-
Yep.
Now, this was mentioned about core
No,
sampling.
no, not the, and I believe we requested a core sample, and they did a core sample.
Yeah.
And that's when all this started back then. And that's when we figured out, well, it's not standard.
It doesn't have the foundation
That's
that
right.
it should, and their answer is just to come in and put some top coat on it.
That's right.
Put more-
And you're
2
putting,
inches instead of the inch and a half allowed for the bind.
Mm-hmm.
that's not,
Well, for us to even consider going down the road, the proper people need to submit their request, but I will get that. I'll go back through there and find that drainage plan, because even if the road stays private and we never take it over, the drainage issue needs to be looked upon to make sure it got done, because it was a requirement. And so I want to make sure that that was done correctly. So, anything else to discuss for tonight? If you all are ready to go, the meeting is adjourned. So now,
Remind you guys, we are doing, dog food and cat food collections, take it down to the fire hall.
Kingston,